Wind up your body tonight is the time. I don't know why you are trying to hide. Just follow the rhythm, stop being so shy. Baby, you'll kill them when you start to whine, 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 whine like this. When you whine, 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 stop, don't miss. Keep up the whine, 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 whine. Make it hit when you whine, 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 whine. I can feel your energy drifting over. So far from the dance floor, just come a little closer. I can see it in your eyes. You're the type that gotta let the night pass you by. I ain't got time for the white lies. Move your body over here and just whine, 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 whine like this. When you whine, 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 stop, don't miss. Keep up the whine, 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 whine. Make it hit when you whine, 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 whine. I asked you to dance, you said no, I'm good. Will you take this chance when you come to my hood? You got to move your body. Promise to be careful not to tell nobody. We just chillin' at the after party. You not here with me, you with everybody. Whine, whine, whine to the left. Whine, whine, whine to the right. Whine, 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 then stop. Whine, 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 do it one more time. Just whine, whine, whine to the left. Whine, whine, whine to the right. Whine, 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 then stop. Whine, 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 do it one more time. Oh, so you can handle it. Oh, so you can handle it. My, what have you got against a little dancing? Oh, so you can handle it. Oh, so you can handle it. My, what have you got against a little dancing? Just whine, 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 whine to the left. Whine, 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 whine to the right. Whine, 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 then stop. Whine, 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 do it one more time. Just whine, whine, whine to the left. Whine, whine, whine to the right. Whine, 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 then stop. Whine, 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 do it one more time. Oh no, don't be afraid to move your body. You gotta move your body. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to.
What you're not telling me, I can smell on your skin. You say what am I doing, accusing you? You say I'm so paranoid, denial's your friend. Why can't you tell me the truth? I just wanna be with you. Trying to play me like a damn fool. It's like we're distant lovers and we are so far gone, but our love has changed, yet we still hold on. Is it worth the pain just to stay together, distant lovers? It's like we're distant lovers and we are so far gone, but our love has changed, yet we still hold on. Is it worth the pain just to stay together, distant lovers?
Who's to blame for the lonely night? When all I ever needed was you right here by my side. I know you're getting tired and you wanna let go. Feel like I'm trapped in a 2x4. If this ain't what you want, you can leave, you could take it home. 'Cause Cause I know I'm not headache if you all you need. Baby, the distance killing me. If it's not worth the pain, then I wanna be free. Guess what I'm trying to say?
We still love us, and we are so far gone. But our love has changed, yeah, we still hold on. Is it worth the pain just to stay together, to stay lovers? It's like we're distant lovers, and we are so far gone. But our love has changed, yeah, we still hold on. Is it worth the pain just to stay together, to stay lovers? How do we get to this point? Distant lovers, we are distant lovers.
I didn't mean to stray away so far.
We are distant lovers.
We are distant, so distant. So distant, so distant, so distant.
All right, y'all. Oh man, welcome to another great edition of Extra Toppings. It's a conceited ass if I ever fucking see one.
I'm showing my shirt. It says melanin popping, queen,
Whatever,
black, pretty
whatever,
black.
Whatever.
You should
Oh,
be
man.
reading it for me. But the melanin is popping.
The melon is popping.
Yeah.
I feel you. What's good, everybody?
And my lip
Again,
gloss,
thank
too.
you for checking in with Extra Toppings. We appreciate you tuning in, and shout out to the young lady that we featured in the beginning with Wine and Distant Lover. Dallas, very talented young lady. She also has a astrology podcast, so y'all make sure you check her out on Anchor. She's really deep, man. I thought I was kind of like, because he was talking about how we like we're into astrology and we think we know, and this young lady put me to shame. But we'll have some more information on her coming in later. But we're gonna jump right into it. I hope you enjoyed the two songs. Oh, how you doing today?
I'm good.
Oh my gosh, she's starting this shit already, boy. I tell you.
Because I'm like, should I tell how I really am?
Yeah,
you know what
why
they say
not?
when people ask you, they don't really want to know.
We want to know
If it's
how's
not
your
good.
day, how's your week, what's going on?
I had a very trying week, and
man.
I refrained from putting it on social media. Not that I put all my stuff on social media, because I've outgrown that.
Okay, beautiful thing.
Because I really don't. I put what I choose. But I had to just woosah. I had a situation where somebody that I've always looked out for and been there for them since they were a little kid really did some betrayal shit to me, like really turned on me and did something foul to me.
That's a great thing, though. I look at things like that and I say, you know what? At the end of the day, because there are a lot of times we think people around us are for us,
Right.
and a lot of times those people are not. You know what I mean? Like you said, that person that you rock for, you was there for all that time and all this other stuff, and at the end of the day, that person turned on you. So But at the end of the day, again, like I said, that person showed you exactly, I guess, what they were really about. So
Right.
sorry you had a bad day, bad week, but at the end of the day, you found out the truth, and that's all that matters.
Yes.
It's not about the time and effort spent into it. As long as you stayed true to yourself, it is what it is, and I'm the truth, so I can speak that.
Yeah,
All right, y'all, we're
me
gonna jump
too.
right into it. We don't have much time. We got another show right after us today. So make sure y'all stick around. If y'all want to have a little break, run. What's the definition of love? Has a great couple coming on. A guest that was here a long time ago, and a lot of things in her life changed. So y'all want to check in and see that ass. What's been going on with her life and everything. All right, y'all, we're gonna jump right into it. We got some hot topics for you today, as always. But unfortunately, we deal with a sad situation. And this is what's going on with Pop Smoke. You want to start this, E?
Okay, so we have another tragic ending to a promising career in life of a 20-year-old rapper from Brooklyn who got out the hood as fast as he could, I guess, going to Hollywood Hills to live out his dream, and there's nothing wrong with that. But unfortunately, he couldn't separate, and I don't mean he couldn't separate himself, but his success wasn't enough at this point because it was so early to separate him from what happens to a lot of our 20-year-old men, 20-year-old young black men, whether they're rappers or not. So, the epidemic that's been a part of our culture never stops surprising and shocking us, although it's a part of our culture. And I think that instead of us being shocked, we're always going to be saddened by the death of someone, who tried to do something different with their life, right? I mean, family members are going to be mourning his loss because they loved him and they knew him. Us as strangers, who didn't know him, are still going to mourn his loss because it's unfortunate that when somebody dies, that's it. It's final. There's nothing, there's no do-overs, there's no hold on if I would have done this. It's over. And I always wonder, I mean, of course it apparently doesn't seem like a robbery. It seems more like a hit. I mean, I believe that it seems more like a hit than a robbery. But I always wonder, why, even when somebody is robbing a person, why do they choose to kill the person? Why do you feel that you're desperate, you need money, or you're jealous, whatever drives somebody to try to take from somebody else? Why do you have to take their life? Because at this point, the people that did it, whether as soon as you do it, because going into it, you might be like, yeah, we got this. We're going to, this what we're going to do, and this how we're going to do it. But the moment you pull the trigger on somebody and their life is over and you realize that you can't just walk around now you might try to walk around like a regular day, but in your mind, you killed somebody that everybody in the world is talking about. So how do you even act normal? How do you function normally knowing that? And I know I put a lot in there.
No. I mean, I understand because it's a situation where we're looking at a 20-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been shy about my age. I'm 45, but at the end of the day, I was legally drinking before this gentleman was even born. This is a gentleman didn't have. We'll talk about his life a little bit, and we'll get into everything else. Now, this is a guy who had a possibility at an early age to have a great NBA career.
I didn't know that.
He was so good at basketball that he went to an academy. He was really good, specifically for basketball. And unfortunately, they found out that he had a heart murmur. And because of that, he could no longer pursue that career. So obviously, unfortunately, some people do other ways to get out of the hood, which is sports, singing, or drugs. And he chose, he pretty much did all three before he passed away. But little jail time. But this is a man who obviously came to a point to where things were getting better for him, financially, lifestyle. This is a gentleman who was half Jamaican, half Panamanian. He had a unique sound. His voice is crazy to me. I was like, the song, the very first time, I was like, dude voice is crazy, Kind of created a brand new sound in New York. So I think he would have went on to be, very, very successful.
Yeah, I got my New York hat.
NYC, BX all day. But at the end of the day, he was an affiliate. I'm not going to get into what he was. You want to do your own research. But at the end of the day, you're traveling from New York to California. And for those people who bang, California people bang a lot harder than the East Coast. It is what it is. Now, I don't know if it was more the lines because he didn't, quote unquote, check in, or it was because of the Rolls Royce that he got into a situation where someone let him borrow the vehicle, and then it wound up being in New York, and he wound up getting arrested because of it, or for whatever reason. But the way it's going on, there was a couple of people, story has changed, 2, 4, 6. But at the end of the day, a couple of people walked up to the house because him and his best friend, who was there with, both showed the address and location where they were. They had a B&B. It belonged to one of the reality stars' husband's house. And a lot of people like that, they'll rent their houses out or whatever. So he rented a house, which is what you're supposed to do. Have a good time. He had a party. And this situation happened around 4 a.m. where it looks like these individuals walked pretty much straight in the house and targeted him. Nobody else was shot. Nobody else was shot at. And according to what the authorities are saying, the gunman came out the house and he didn't appear to have any kind of jewelry, money, anything in his hands, which is steering him towards the fact that this is why they believe it was a hit. They on Instagram, they were showing stacks of money like people normally do these days. So normally for a robbery, a jewelry, you see my man, he was full of it, and nothing was taken. So it does look like, in my opinion, that it was a hit. We don't know what went on behind the scenes. Words, again, checking in, not checking in. But the point I really wanted to talk about this story is for you young guys out here, and I don't know this man from a can of paint. I never met him, but he didn't come off to me like he was a pussy, like he was a punk. And at the end of the day, he still wound up losing his life. And what I want you guys to start understanding and realizing, you have to have security. You have to have security. This is a gentleman who, at the age of 20, many years, created a brand new style, probably had millions and millions of dollars left to go. Did song with Nicki. She hurried up and wanted to jump on and welcome to the party. 50 Cent, a lot of other people shouted him out. They followed him. They respected him. They loved his music. He had a great career ahead of him. But again, you can't be too hard to be alive. And this is what I want you young guys to understand. I'm not telling you don't put your boys on. Don't have your boys rocking with you, doing a little security. But you need somebody who's trained at certain things. And that is when someone is approaching you with a certain look on their face. These guys are trained for that. These guys are trained to react. No one would have been able to walk near you, around you, with their hands in their pocket, in their jacket, or whatever the situation may be. So you guys got to really start taking care of yourselves, man. Gotta start taking care of yourselves. Stop being too hard for security. It's like every couple of months we're talking about someone we lost. And that's the sad thing. Hey, still have your boys, still have, doula security, give dudes a couple of dollars, feed the hood, feed your family. But you also got to feed these other cops. He been game. That nigga got the right security. He got his thugs, but he got the right security. 50 Cent, a lot of these other individuals, they understood that. And, 50 was really, really lucky, like, to get hit that many times and still be living. You got to learn lessons, gentlemen. So, again, our hearts and prayers and thoughts go out to the family. Sorry for the loss. But hopefully they will be able to find the individuals and bring justice to the family. Any last things, E, before we?
Yeah, I just think, looking at the young people that are watching all this happening, are they going to just accept it like that's just the way life is? Because it's even kids that grew up in like war-torn environments, war countries where the fight is on their land.
Yeah.
They get very numb to the violence.
It's not numb. You just like over in Africa, and these individuals are trained from kids, and for you guys here who think you've seen poverty and war zone until you see AK-47s and grenades and shit going off for real. So yeah, if you're raised in a particular area, you're gonna be built different. Yeah, you'll be a little hardened from an individual who doesn't know what a gun sounds like, looks like, how to handle it, how to shoot it. If someone's mad close to you, shit, you could grab the barrel. But there's a lot. Well, if it's not a revolver, but there's a lot of things that you would be privy to if you grew up in a certain area. So this guy did grow up in wasn't the greatest of areas. Again, he is affiliate. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, somebody caught him slipping. And again, with the proper security, this wouldn't have happened. So again, you young guys out there, man, start hiring some security. And y'all can say whatever y'all want about 6ix9ine. That nigga wasn't stupid. That nigga got about 20,000 bodyguards walking around, and many people wanted to touch him. They didn't. I mean, obviously, and he came back, he got, that whole stage kidnapping, whatever situation may be. But at the end of the day, you got to surround yourself with people who know how to handle anything and everything. So, again, hearts and prayers go out to the family. We wish you a swift justice. So, hopefully they can find these individuals because, cameras is everywhere now. So they've even have photos of the vehicle. They're not saying if they got the plate, they didn't got the plate.
Yeah, they're gonna watch every possible way to get to where that house is.
Yeah,
they're gonna go down the street,
30 minutes away,
the corner,
an hour out the way.
So
let's see if we can find that. And that's the crazy thing about like technology these days. They could find that vehicle 2 days ago, running through a camera. Hours ago. Right. Find out where'd you made the left, where'd you made the right, who was in the car, who wasn't in the car. And a lot of these traffic lights, they have 1080p cameras, infrared. So even with your lights not on, they still know who you are. So they'll put the wolves and dogs on it, and they'll find these individuals, and hopefully we get some swift justice. Any last words before we move on? All right. So this next one is a little different. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to play this video. And this video is it's this young lady. She's white. I'm going to put it out there. But the way she broke down the situation and everything that's happening with Wade and his son, and it kind of really made me think. So I wanted to play it for y'all and see what y'all think, and we'll talk about it a little when we come back. So don't go nowhere, y'all. Just watch this.
NBA star Dwayne Wade's son recently told his parents that he's transgender. And according to Wade, he is fully on board with his son's transition to a girl. Now, there are a lot of people trashing Dwayne Wade and his wife, Gabrielle Union, right now, calling them bad parents for facilitating this transition, for letting a confused 12-year-old boy dictate serious medical decisions. And I get that. But I have a different message tonight for Dwayne Wade. One of the comments Wade made really hit home with me. He said, "I want to have all the information I possibly can." And I thought to myself, will anybody give Dwayne Wade and his family the truth? The real information, the scientific studies about gender dysphoria? Or will Dwayne Wade and his family be swallowed up by the rabid woke crowd pushing the transgender ideology for their own political reasons? So tonight, here are 5 facts Dwayne Wade should know. Number 1, between 80 and 90% of children under the age of 18 with gender confusion outgrow it by the time they're adults if they don't transition. Remember, these are kids who are not old enough to drive. They're not old enough to get their ears pierced without permission from their parents. These children should not be dictating life-changing medical procedures that aren't backed up by science. That brings us to number 2. The puberty-blocking drugs, the medication used on children with gender dysphoria before surgery, are the same drugs some states use to chemically castrate convicted child sex offenders. These drugs are not FDA approved for gender dysphoria or for children and can result in permanent sterilization of that child. Number 3, the suicide rate for people with gender dysphoria who undergo a transition is static post-surgery. In fact, the doctor at Johns Hopkins University who invented the surgery refuses to perform it anymore because it's not curative. Gender dysphoria is often comorbid with other psychiatric disorders, and when the root cause of those disorders is addressed, it's more likely to cure the gender confusion than bodily mutilation. Number 4, a significant percent of people regret their transition. In fact, 11% of transgender females regret their transition to the point where they actually detransition. But for many, it's too late. They're permanently sterile, infertile, and their lives have been ruined. Number 5, men are men and women are women. And no amount of surgery or name changing or skirts can change that. It's simply objective truth. It's science. It's biology. Men are not women because they feel like women. We don't tell schizophrenic patients, for example, that the voices in their head is real. And we shouldn't indulge the delusion of gender disordered people either. We should help them with the truth. So instead of trashing Dwayne Wade and his family, pass this information along to them. Treat his son with compassion and respect, and say prayers for the entire family.
Put it so nicely. You see how, some people just know how to be nice about stuff when they tell you that you're wrong.
I mean, we joke about mic drops and shit like that, but this lady dropped the fucking mic.
Yeah.
She dropped the shit out of it. And I'm not here to bash Wade. You are your individual self, and that is your child. And you have the right to do whatever it is you feel you need to do. But I always like to think and want people to understand and know at the end of the day that there's a lot of different, information out there. And a lot of times you want to have the most and all of the information you possibly can have before you make a life-changing decision. And one of the ones that really popped out to me is the person who invented the surgery won't even do it anymore. Help me out, E.
Yeah, so, initially me hearing this before that he was welcoming and accepting his son's feelings, we love our children, but sometimes we love them to a fault where we
try to be their friends instead of their parent.
Try to be their friends, and we enable things that we should not enable. So I try to tell my daughter, if Dwayne Wade's son, and this is an exaggeration, if he, because there are people that that perform or engage in bestiality, right? So if you felt like you're an animal and you want to commingle and love on some animals, is that going to be okay? It's kind of like that might sound outlandish, but at the end of the day, this is a child with a child's mind. And because your child is telling you something and you go with what your child is telling you instead of the research that this lady just presented.
Woo.
I mean, how about saying to him, I understand and respect how you feel, but let's look into it further to make sure that this is a healthy decision for you. We're not you don't have to bash. He doesn't even have to bash his son.
Right.
Even if you don't agree with what your child is doing, because we all, I guess, ask ourselves, what if it was my child? What would I do? And I'm not going to accept something from a child. And when that child becomes of age, they can do what they choose to do. But under my house, I'm going to train up a child as the way a child should go. Because you're never going to say, I didn't try to raise you the right way.
Right.
And when we say the right way, okay, so people who have grown up and felt like they were not who they are on the outside, physically, like you said, biology. Okay, so your body says or looks one way, but your mind is telling you that's something else. But we also know that there are chemical imbalances. There's a reason why somebody in one body might feel like they're in the wrong body. That it's not a cut and dry situation where you can just say, "Oh, that's how you feel. Okay, well, this is what we're gonna do," because the lasting effects of it. It doesn't mean like once you do that, oh, you what happens again when you decide that you don't like this new body?
Ain't no
What
going
if you
back.
don't feel like this new body is the body for you? Then,
no
like,
going back.
where you gonna go from there? So I feel like there is a way to persuade our children, without just being strict and giving them the discipline that they may not need at the time. He needs love. Yes, he needs acceptance, but he also needs to question how this is going to affect him in the long run, because mentally he may not be okay.
I want to say this again. You're free to do whatever you want to do, but I always say you want to get all the information possible before making a life changing. Again, there is no backsies. There's no way to reattach, or again you won't be able to reproduce. So if you're doing this to be your son's friend, you're doing the wrong thing. You're a parent for a reason. I would say, my opinion, and it may not mean shit to you, but I would say you want to wait till this child becomes a certain age when they can actually handle a lot of the things that is going to be coming at them, hormones, feelings, people around them in situations like this. Any last words before we get out of here?
Yeah, I want to tell the people out there who watch the show, if you are dealing with issues within, I mean, we're all dealing with issues in our family, but, I'm one that always suggests to go and speak to a professional. Like, you've got to understand that we don't know everything. Or, we only really we're guided by our emotions, and that's not the way to make decisions based on your emotions. So you can love your child, but disciplining your child is not a bad thing, because at the end of the day, most kids want you to step in and discipline them. They act out because they're looking for something. They're searching for to see how much you care about them, and giving them what they want all the time is not the best thing for them
At all. All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in with us. We'll see you next week. Last words, E?
Yes.
That's it?
That's it.
Peace.
Don't say yeah.
times. I don't know why you are trying to hide. Just follow the rhythm, stop being so shy. Baby, you'll kill them when you start to whine, 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 whine like this. When you whine, 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 stop, don't miss. Keep up the whine, 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 whine. Make it hit when you whine, 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 whine. I can feel your energy drifting over. So far from the dance floor, just come a little closer. I can see it in your eyes. You're the type that gotta let the night pass you by. I ain't got time for the white lies. Move your body over here and just whine, 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 whine like this. When you whine, 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 stop, don't miss. Keep up the whine, 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 whine. Make it hit when you whine, 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 whine. I asked you to dance, you said no, I'm good. Will you take this chance when you come to my hood? You got to move your body. Promise to be careful not to tell nobody. We just chillin' at the after party. You not here with me, you with everybody. Whine, whine, whine to the left. Whine, whine, whine to the right. Whine, 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 then stop. Whine, 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 do it one more time. Just whine, whine, whine to the left. Whine, whine, whine to the right. Whine, 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 then stop. Whine, 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 do it one more time. Oh, so you can handle it. Oh, so you can handle it. My, what have you got against a little dancing? Oh, so you can handle it. Oh, so you can handle it. My, what have you got against a little dancing? Just whine, 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 whine to the left. Whine, 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 whine to the right. Whine, 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 then stop. Whine, 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 do it one more time. Just whine, whine, whine to the left. Whine, whine, whine to the right. Whine, 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 then stop. Whine, 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 do it one more time. Oh no, don't be afraid to move your body. You gotta move your body. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to